Yes.
Hello friends, welcome to Men's Day Out. As we had promised, we'll try to get you an expert from the field every week. And this week we are going to talk about the challenges men are facing under lockdown. Lockdown has been an extremely difficult period for each one of us, and it has nothing to do with gender per se. Most of us have been working from home, most of us have been working at home, but largely we have been very, very fortunate to work amidst the company of our children. But do we ever give a thought that there are many fathers, the separated fathers, who have not been able to see or not even able to hear their children during lockdown and the challenges they have been facing? So today we are welcoming with us Mr. Shoni Kapoor. Hi, Shoni.
Hi, Anal. How are you?
Thank you, Shoni, for joining us. Let me introduce everybody. I think Shoni doesn't need an introduction for people who are following men's rights already. But for the ones who don't know him, Shoni is a legal consultant who is based out of Delhi. And he has been active in several cases, be it matrimony. And today he is here to share with us a couple of cases where he has actually got a successful order for visitation of children during lockdown. So Shoni, I would like to start with you. If you could just introduce yourself to our viewers and also give us a little background of what you do.
So, Anas, my name is Shoni Kapoor, as you already told. I belong to a very small town in Haryana, Hisar. I did my graduation, BSc Electronics, and then I did my MBA. I was working with when multifarious litigation hit me. So it started with 498 and my child was taken away from me by my ex-wife, estranged wife at that time. And that actually plunged me into legal field. And that was my first brush with law. I quit. When I quit, I was vice president sales in a software company. And simultaneously, I was pursuing law. I currently run an NGO by the name Sahodar. So law interested me, and as much as I read law, it was more that all the laws are stacked against men and are in favor of women. I won't say only women. It is the laws are actually friendly to all the weaker sections of society, but then all these laws are prone to misuse, and there is no misuse clause in any of these. Apart from that, I have my own copyright business, which I do. And of course, helping men and consulting men on various issues is one of the prime focus in.
Thank you.
I wanted to add one more thing here, that about the child custody law per se. The law, in fact, says that the father is the guardian of a minor, and up to 5 years the child custody should be with the mother. But around, the law has taken a U-turn, and now it seems the court are more concerned that the mother is the primary guardian and father is just a ATM machine or a rearer who has to provide for the children. So there are instances where the fathers have been begging for children as often as they would love to, and sometimes not at all. And I think that various judgments which are coming from high courts and supreme courts before lockdown, they have added to this culture that mother is the primary guardian and not the father.
Right, Shoni. Shoni, can you give us a macro picture of what the separated fathers have been going through, especially during lockdown? Because we do know that even when there is no lockdown, it is extremely difficult for them to meet with their children despite having a custodial order from the court. So how has lockdown really impacted their lives more? Could you throw some light on that?
See, Arnaz, lockdown has impacted lives all across. It has impacted our work. It has impacted how we do business, how we interact with people, and a lot of things. So similarly, it has given an excuse also to a lot of people to do a lot of things which in normal circumstances they would not have done. Now a custodian, a parent who has the custody, vis-a-vis a parent who does not have the custody but has access rights. Now it has given undue power to the custodian parent, and what we are talking about, mostly mothers, that they have completely cut off the contact of the children from their fathers. So I keep on getting calls, messages, WhatsApp, that people want to meet their father, but meet their children, but they don't know where middle of it and how to go about it. Supreme Court, there were two PILs which were put in Supreme Court with regard to the same, one by another men's right NGO and another by a person individually. Now the Supreme Court also held that wherever there is a child custody order, they can approach district court or respective high court to get these orders enforced. Can have access over e-channels or visitations could be done. That was, of course, lockdown 1 and 2 stage. So physical access was not granted, but then the electronic access or phone access should be granted. The other PIL was not accepted, that every father or every non-custodian parent should have access to the child. Of course, in its own wisdom, Supreme Court did not accept that. Now, when it comes to enforcing the orders which were already there were other challenges, because most of the district courts in this country were not working at that time. They were only taking urgent matters. And I don't know why this mindset is there that child access orders are not going to be urgent orders.
Right. There is a one.
Whereas I believe that
shared with me, Tony, where last year in September, the court had ordered 10 days of child custody to the father in summer vacations. However, none of us had foreseen, the COVID situation turning up, and taking advantage of that, the mother has denied those 10 days of custody to the father. But you have been successful, you and your team has been successful in getting the order from the High Court, and subsequently they had allowed this to go ahead. Could you share?
Yes. Now let me clarify it. So what you are talking about is I won't take the name of the child or the father, because that is something which should not be done. So here the facts were that there was a gentleman who had got child access order, and the order was that every weekend he should have access of a particular time with the minor in a mall, and in vacations or once a month he could take the child, and in summer vacation 10 days he had access. Now when the lockdown started, the mother completely cut off the child from the father. The child is of minor, is very impressionable age, and of course we came to know later that the mother was feeding the child that the father does not love her that much, and so and so forth, and poisoning the mind of the child. This father is not trying to meet you. We have tried. We have made calls. He says that he doesn't want to meet you, and things like that were happening. So I advised this gentleman to approach, district court or high court. So this gentleman did approach high court. We try to press on the court, the team or the lawyers who were presenting it, advocates, they impressed upon the court. And the High Court was very pleased to grant access 10 days. Lockdown, the father should have the right to meet the children, and that is what they allowed it, and asked the woman not to interfere.
Right. What is about
and
which are
case,
generally the women say that the fathers are not well informed, or they are less careful about tackling kids during the COVID situation. Now, just because he happens to be a separated father, you're making a monster out of him. So what do you have to say about this?
So, Anand, if I were able to make a statement that women are not able to handle money, will you accept it? Or accept it at the face value, So there are a lot of differences between a woman and a woman and between man and woman. A father can take care of, if he can take care of your house during the lockdown, if he can do everything, why can't he take care of the children? And I know fathers where both the parents are working, fathers are taking equal responsibility for the children. In my case also, when I got the custody of the child, after a long fight, I was not married, but I still took care of the child till I got remarried. Of course, there was my father to help me out, but I managed. So it is not that what a woman can do, a man cannot do. Of course, if the it is a different matter, but otherwise, whatever a woman can do, a man can also do.
Right. And Jyoti, we'll discuss another case also where, the child involved here was a special child. And there the father definitely had a much trickier situation.
So this was a case. Yeah, this was a case where the father was not in, I got to know that the father was not in country and he wanted access to the children. And they approached through their lawyers to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court was very pleased to grant, e-access every Saturday for 20 minutes to the minor, to this father who was separated from child. And in this case, the peculiarity was that the child was a special child. But I believe that whether this peculiarity exists or not, I have known that in certain European countries, whenever there is a petition for divorce or whatever, you have to come to an agreement that how would the non-custodian parent will have child access. You have to come to an agreement. So similar things should be adopted in this country as well. I don't know why here the things have turned to such a level, maybe because of anger against one parent, the other parent, that the custodian parents kind of owns the child. It is mine. I won't give access. Whereas the child has come into existence because of both the parents. And I'm sure that there are cases where the man or a woman can be very bad, influence on the child. There could be, but those are very minuscule number of cases.
Right.
A normal case, so motive, take this cognizance that what about the child access? What about the right of the children?
Right.
Bombay High Court came out with exhaustive guidelines stating that joint custody of children or shared parenting should be there. And I believe that where parents can reach such an agreement, that should be granted. Otherwise, also court should, make an effort that parents understand the need a minor child has for both the parents.
That is right. And also what happens is, Shoni, when you are allowing this weekly access, which I generally often term as Santa Claus access, where the father is only going to meet the child with a gift. How, what is the kind of equation that a father and child would develop is something the courts also need to realize. Because, you can't meet a child once a week, once a month and expect him to be as normal as he would be, if he would be staying with you half of the month or maybe half or a little less time than what he would do with his mother. So even this whole concept of visitation itself is very flawed in itself.
Yes, and so this kind of visitation will work where the father and mother is not staying in the same city, but wherever the parents are staying in the same city or at a distance which is easily accessible. I think more freer visitation, or now the modes are there. We all know that we can work on video conferencing and all other things. If we can do our business, we can interact, we can transact our businesses like that. Maybe these kind of access should be made a norm. It should be made a norm rather than, of course, physical access may be difficult at times, but at least e-access should be made a norm. Like you and I are speaking, wherever there is a technology, we should utilize technology. Every child should meet the non-custodial parent for 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. At least he should know that I have a father or a mother to look up to.
Absolutely, and
So we should do that.
We have been getting a few messages from fathers who don't want to be named, but they are asking us, please help us. We don't have any idea where our child is. The wife has stopped answering calls. She's not replying to any of the messages, and since the courts are closed, they're kind of taking this undue advantage that there can be no order against them. So the fathers are really clueless, how the children are they doing well, how is the health during this COVID. So, it's such a tricky situation, because until the courts step in, you are actually allowing the full liberty to the mother to take that call.
I understand that, Arnaz, and I always say that Jin khoja tin paiyan. If you want, you have to make an effort. Just sitting at home crying about it is doors. Let's go to each and every court. Let's, if you don't know where your child is, file habeas corpus. Lockdown does not prevent High Court from taking cognizance of habeas corpus. If your kid is kidnapped today, what will you do? You still file a complaint, right? It cannot be that because there is a lockdown, I cannot file a complaint or I cannot go to court. Courts are open. When the courts can open at middle of the night for political exigency, to prevent some, hanging or things like that, why cannot we approach court when we want child access? See, you have to understand that during lockdown, there has been a lot of abuse also of the children. I know, practically I know of a child who was staying with her maternal, of course with the maternal family, and he was literally beaten day in day out by the uncle, maternal uncle. He ran away. A 10-year-old child, he ran away from there. And the mother is then calling, where is he? You have kidnapped. And then it came to the knowledge that because the maternal uncle was beating the child. So fathers have the right to know where their child is, whether the child is safe, and God forbid, is there any medical emergency where he needs to step in. So please, for God's sake, try to find ways. Go file an application in the district court, in the family court, in the high court, wherever. Why not?
Absolutely, Sean, your point taken. There's no point, not doing anything and, crying about it. We need to take action.
Correct.
And if you had to give one suggestion to the government or anybody who is going to make a decision as far as shared parenting is concerned, what will be that one key takeaway you would like to share from your end?
See, I like to say that shared parenting is a very novel concept, but I am not 100% convinced about it. Despite those reservations, I think that shared parenting should be the norm, barring few exceptions. Now, those exceptions can be, of course, should be related to maltreatment of the children and not maltreatment of one spouse to another. So only if there is a maltreatment to the children or there is a abuse of the children, then only the shared parenting should not be. Secondly, wherever there is a shared parenting, there should be a regular routine psychological assessment of the children be done every 6 months or every year. So these are the two things which should come in our statute books, or there should be a guideline by a High Court or a Supreme Court. I urge them to make such guidelines that the shared parenting is the norm and all other things are exception. And whenever there is a shared parenting, these are the rules which you have to abide by. You have to, and the post may be shared, between both the parties if they want shared custody. The children, it should be known whether there is any parent is having any bad influence on the child, or the child is facing any psychological issues because of a lot of to and fro motion from one parent to another, because it is practically shifting child from one household to another. So these kind of assessments, shared parenting should be the norm, and all other things should be exception. Is what I feel should be.
Right. Thank you, Shoni. This has been a wonderful, so very brief, but I'm sure we'll be doing more sessions on this. And as we go, while we may say that legal recourse is one option separated fathers have, but we also know the practical impossibilities when you have to actually get access to the child. So it is a challenge, but nonetheless, we have to overcome this, and we need to be, all of us need to be connected to, understand how things are working in the system and how we can make it in the interest of everybody, whether it is a father or the mother. So I'd like to wrap up this session here. Shoni, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Naz. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. And anybody who wants to connect with me can connect me through Sahodar WhatsApp group. We run a WhatsApp group also. I'd like to mention it. And anybody can reach us through that WhatsApp group also for any kind of assistance. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Shoni. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.